We're going to go live.
Yeah.
Are we live? Okay. We're live.
Live and alive.
Dasa Vrindavanam Bande Krishna Dasa Parum Tata Chanavatar Chaitanya Lila Vistar Karino Do Nityananda Parabja Karunadena Bushito Vyakta Burachincho Vavande Vyasadupino Shri Guru Gaur Gandharva Govindas Chaganaisaha Jayanti Patakas Ch.Ch Sarve Sham Karanarjina. So we are continuing this morning.
Jai Vishakha Devidasi ki jai.
Jai Shri Gurudev. So we're continuing this morning with our hearing of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are fortunate we can start our day with such, divine substance pouring into our ears. So we are in the middle of the cleansing of the Gundicha temple, Madhya Lila chapter 12. And let's see where we were. Jai Shri Gurudev. Natta shala dui doilo chatvar prangan pakashala di kori korilo prakalan. In this way, the meeting place was washed, the entire yard, the raised sitting places, the kitchen, and every other room. Mandirer chaturdik pakshalana koilo sabanta purbalo mate dojailo. Thus all places around the temple were thoroughly washed within and without. Enokale godia ek subudhi shadal prabhur chadan juge dilogata jal. After everything was thoroughly washed, a Vaishnava from Bengal, who was very intelligent and simple, came and poured water on the lotus feet of the Lord. Sejaloya pane pana koilo tahadeki prabhur mane dukkado shahoilo. The Gaudiya Vaishnava then took that water and drank it himself. Seeing that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt a little unhappy and was also outwardly angry. Jajapi gosai tade hoyache santosh dharma samstapan lagi bahyude mahadosh. Although the Lord was certainly satisfied with him, he became angry externally in order to establish the etiquettes of religious principles. Shikshalagi sarupe daki kohilo tahade edeka tomar godiya ravya vahade. The Lord then called for Srup Damodar and told him, "Just see the behavior of your Bengali Vaishnav." Ishwar mandire mor pada do jailo sejola paniloya pana koilo. This person from Bengal has washed my feet within the temple of the personality of Godhead. Not only that, but he has drunk the water himself. So this is, proper etiquette, that if there is a very honorable person present, then you will not go to give respect to someone else. So in front of the deity, you won't go to give obeisance to anyone else, other than Guru, as I understand, other than your Guru. But otherwise, you do not give obeisance to others. And also, if you are sitting with Guru, then you won't go to give obeisance to many other sannyasis who are there. And now all the honor is on Guru. So Mahaprabhu, he's in this mood of a servant, he's cleaning the Lord's temple, and so he does not appreciate. Of course, Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, so there's absolutely nothing wrong with that Vaishnava's behavior. But he's teaching this. He's in the mode of a servitor. And therefore, he's feeling it is inappropriate that someone is coming to worship him in front of the Lord in the Lord's temple. And then also, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he's written an elaborate purport on this, where he points out that Mahaprabhu tells Swarup Damodar, he refers to this devotee as your devotee, like your Gaudiya. And so, and the word Gaudiya, it has different connotations. It can refer to simply a devotee in Bengal, the land of Gauda Desh, that area is known as Gauda Desh, that area, Bengal. But it can also mean more specifically, then it can also mean, in a more specific sense, a devotee of Mahaprabhu. But then in a more specific sense, it can mean a devotee of Srimati Radharani under Swarup Damodar or Lalita Saki. Wow. So Srila Saraswati Thakur, he takes this from this comment. Mahaprabhu says, your Gaudiya to Swarup Damodar. So that he takes that to mean that all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas are under the care of Swarup Damodar or Lalita Saki. And so Saraswati Thakur, he also gives this explanation that Vaishnav, because we use the term Vaishnav in a broad sense, but strictly speaking, Vaishnav means a worshipper of Vishnu. So in this one commentary of Saraswati Thakur, he explains that Vaishnav means a worshipper of Vishnu, Karshna means a worshipper of Krishna, and a Gaudiya means a worshipper, devotee of Radharani under Lalita Saki. And Srila Swami Maharishi, he will read the purport here as well. E aparade mor kaha hobe gati tomar Gaudiya korete pai jati. I do not know, Mahaprabhu is continuing, I now do not know what my destination is because of this offense. Indeed, your Bengali Vaishnav, your Gaudiya, has greatly implicated me. Purport. It is significant that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Swarup Damodar Goswami that the Bengali Vaishnav was your Gaudiya Vaishnav. This means that all Gaudiya Vaishnavas who are followers of the Chaitanya cult are subordinate to Swarup Damodar Goswami. The Parampara system is very strictly observed by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal secretary was Swarup Damodar Goswami. The next group of devotees was the 6 Goswamis, then Kaviraj Goswami. It is necessary to observe the Parampara system of the Chaitanya cult. There are many offenses one can commit while serving the Lord, and these are described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Hari Bhakti Vilas, and other books. According to the rules and regulations, no one should accept obeisances in the temple of the Lord before the deity, nor is it proper for a devotee to offer obeisance. Yes, see, this is a point which I think there's debate on. Jai Shishigu Guranga Hadichum. So one should not accept obeisances in the temple of the Lord before the deity, nor is it proper for a devotee to offer obeisances and touch the feet of the spiritual master before the deity. Yeah, see, this point, I believe there's some slack cut there. Because, when you're in front of your guru, you have to give obeisances. And this was something that always troubled me. And then recently, I think maybe it was a transcript of Srila Sridhar Maharaj that I came across very recently, like a week or two ago, where it was said that there was an exception with the spiritual master. But I should have noted where it was. Because this is not a rule that I can follow. I'm sorry.
Sometimes here also, then there's the devotee is higher than the deity. If the devotee exalted.
Yeah, we do take an angle of vision like that, but still there are points of sensitivity, there are points of etiquette, like for example with Tulasi, then we're closing the curtain, right? Because we have to consider how that devotee will feel. Yeah. So when we're honoring Tulasi, then we're closing the curtain. But with Guru, it's a little different because Guru is also Acharya Mam Vijaniyam, right? He is a manifestation of the Lord Himself. So, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts? All I know is that if my Guru, if Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj is seated in here and I come in here, then I'm going to give him my dandava. I don't care what any scripture says. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was personally the Supreme Personality of Godhead, therefore it was not actually offensive to wash his lotus feet in the temple. However, because he was playing the part of an acharya, the Lord considered himself an ordinary human being. He also wanted to give instructions to ordinary human beings. The point is that even though one plays the part of a spiritual master, he should not accept obeisances or permit a disciple to wash his feet before the deity. This is a matter of etiquette. Yeah, I mean, if it was something elaborate like washing his feet or doing puja, that would be different. Then we would close the curtains, But just giving some obeisances, that's, it's no different. Gurudev was so shy about receiving worship that, what to speak of closing the altar. He wouldn't, in his early Vyasa pujas, I heard from Madhya Maharaj, he would have the front of the Nat Mandir covered up so passerbys couldn't see. He was embarrassed just by that, so what to speak of, accepting worship in front of the deity. Tobe Swarup Gosai Tar Gade Hatta Dia Dekamadi Podir Bahir Rakile Naloya. At this point, Srup Damodar Goswami caught the Gaudiya Vaishnava by the neck and giving him a little push, ejected him from the Gundicha Puri temple and made him stay outside. I mean, what mercy he's actually getting. He's personally thrown out, caught by the neck, And not only that, but Mahaprabhu is at least twice, he refers to him as belonging to Srup Damodar. That's the highest compliment. Srup Damodar is Mahaprabhu's, right, he's practically the second form of Mahaprabhu. So, that's the highest honor. Mahaprabhu personally puts Raghunath Das Goswami in the care of Srup Damodar. Raghunath Das Goswami, our Prayojana Acharya, in the care of Srup Damodar Goswami. So for him to refer to this man as belonging, your Gaudiya Vaishnava, he's belonging to Srup Damodar, this is actually a high compliment. And then he's personally picking him up and throwing him out. It's actually, it's an exchange of great intimacy. Punasi. Oh, so sorry. This is actually Srup Damodar who's taken him by the neck. I was thinking Mahaprabhu, Srup Damodar. But, being directed by Mahaprabhu. Punasi Prabhupai Kodilo Vinoi Agyapadada Koma Kodite Jujai. After Srup Damodar Goswami returned within the temple, he requested Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to excuse that innocent person. Tobe Mahaprabhur mane santosha hoilo sadi kodi dui pashe sabade bosaila. After this incident, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very satisfied. He then asked all of the devotees to sit down in 2 lines on both sides. Apane bosiyamaje apanada hatte china kanka kuta lagila kudaite. The Lord then personally sat down in the middle and picked up all kinds of straw, grains of sand, and dirty things. Kekoto kudaisa bekacha kodibo, jara potartai pitapana loibo. While Mahaprabhu was picking up the straws and grains of sand, he said, I shall gather everyone's collection, and I shall ask whoever has collected less than all the others to pay a fine of sweet cakes and sweet rice. So in other words, Vaishnava Seva. This is their punishment, Vaishnava Seva. And I forgot, I have to pull it up. It would be nice if we can hear that commentary of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Emata sabpuri korila shodhan shita nirma koilo jeno nijaman. In this way, all the quarters of the Gundicha temple were completely cleansed and cleared. All quarters were cool and spotless, like one's cleansed and pacified mind. So the temple became a manifestation of the purified heart. Pranalika chadi jadi panibo hailo nutanadi jeno samudre mililo. When the water from the different rooms was finally let out through the halls, it appeared as if new rivers were rushing out to meet the waters of the ocean. Emata puradvar agepata jata saka sodilo taha kevarni bekoto. Outside the gateway of the temple, all the roads were also cleansed, and no one could tell exactly how this was done. Actually, Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada has a purport, an extensive purport here, which is based on Srila Saraswati Thakur's commentary. So maybe we can just read that instead. Yeah, I'll just read that. So it's very nice explanation of this pastime. Purport. In commenting on the cleansing of the Gundicha temple, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the world's leader, or Jagat Guru, this is how Saraswati Thakur describes it. Mahaprabhu took the position of Jagat Guru in this Leela. So as the Jagat Guru was personally giving instructions on how one should receive Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, within one's cleansed and pacified heart. If one wants to see Krishna seated in their heart, they must first cleanse the heart, as prescribed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshashtak, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. In this age, everyone's heart is especially unclean, as confirmed by Srimad Bhagavatam, Hridyantasto Yabhajani. To wash away all dirty things accumulated within the heart, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised everyone to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. The first result will be that the heart is cleansed. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam confirms the statement, Shinvatam Swakata Krishna, Punya Shavana Kirtana, Hridyantasto Habhadrani Vidunoti Suhritsatam. Very beautiful verse. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is present within everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who relishes his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. If a devotee at all wants to cleanse their heart, they must chant and hear the glories of the Lord, Shri Krishna. This is a simple process. Krishna himself will help cleanse the heart because he is already seated there. Krishna wants to continue living within the heart, and the Lord wants to give directions, but one has to keep his heart as clean as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept the Gundicha temple. The devotee therefore has to cleanse his heart just as the Lord cleansed the Gundicha temple. In this way one can be pacified and enriched in devotional service. Maybe I'll just try to pull that down. Should just take a second to find this. Here it is. Kandicha Marjan Lila Rahasya. Okay, I would like to read this. It's not so long. Shri Gundicha Marjan Lila Rahasya. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explains the secret behind the cleansing of the Gundicha temple. Through this pastime, Jagat Guru Sriman Mahaprabhu is teaching that if a fortunate soul desires to sit Krishna on the altar of their heart, then they should first of all clean their heart of all contamination, making the heart spotlessly clean, peaceful, and resplendent. Making the heart spotlessly clean, peaceful, and resplendent with devotion is mandatory. If any thorny bushes, weeds, dust, or sand, anarta, so all of these, different types of contamination that have been mentioned, they represent the various anartas within the heart. So if these anartas remain within the field of the heart, then the Lord, the ultimate recipient of all service, cannot be seated therein. Contamination and litter within the heart means anyabilash, extraneous desires. So anyabilash means our random, whimsical desires for material enjoyment. Karma, worldly action. So in this context, karma would mean, action that is consciously directed to obtain some result, positive results within this world, like a calculated action, as opposed to anyabilash, just random, whimsical enjoyment. Gyan, speculative knowledge, yoga, and so on. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu said, Anya bilashita shanyam jnana karma janavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. Wherever the soul's eternal natural propensity for devotion has been covered over by desires unrelated to devotion, speculative knowledge, worldly action, yoga, asceticism, or any mentality that is unfavorable to devotion, pure devotion is not present. And without pure devotion, which is by nature purely spiritual, Krishna does not appear. And we can also remember in this regard another important verse in Bhakti Samrita Sindhu. How does it go? Bhukti mukti spriya javat pishachi hridivartate tavad bhakti katasya cha katam abhudayo bhavat. That when these witches of bhukti and mukti, these tendencies, in other words, these tendencies for exploitation and renunciation, when they are present within the heart, how is it possible that the joy of devotion can appear there? Or as Srila Sridhar Maharaj has rendered it, so nicely, if two low-class ladies are seated there, how can you invite the noble lady of devotion, this high-class noble lady, to come and sit next to them? You cannot expect such a thing. So first you have to arrange some clean place, and then you can invite Bhakti Devi to descend. Okay. Without pure devotion, which is by nature purely spiritual, Krishna does not appear. Extraneous desire. So this is an example of an extraneous desire, or anya bilash. As long as I remain in this world, I shall gratify my senses exclusively. This sort of base desire, like a thorny branch, lacerates the pure soul's tender propensity for exclusive devotion, kevala bhakti. Worldly action, so an example of the mood. What is the mood of karma, worldly action? Through piety, sacrifice, charity, and austerity, I shall enjoy the pleasures of this world and the higher planes, like svarga. Like Srila Sridhar Maharaj has described it, as like putting something in a bank. It's for your future enjoyment. some savings. This is karma. Whereas anya bilash is you're not keeping any savings, you're just enjoying here and now to the maximum. So I sometimes think of it as like anya bilash is like the more of a Western problem, and karma is more of an Indian problem. Such selfish action is like dust. In the whirlwind of the cycle of karma, heaps of this dust, that is desires, cover the spotless and clear mirror of our hearts. So, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Mahaprabhu, he speaks of cleansing the mirror of the heart. And what is that dust on that heart? It is our own desire, our own material desires. Desires to perform both good and bad actions, like countless heaps of dust, have contaminated the hearts of souls who are averse to the Lord for numerous births. And thus the desire for worldly activity has not left these souls' hearts. Souls that are averse to the Lord think, it seems that through action, the thorns present within action can be removed, but this is a misconception. Those who are convinced by it simply cheat themselves. As an elephant smears its body with dirt again after you bathe it, so desire for worldly action is not dispelled by performing worldly actions. So I think here Srila Saraswati Thakur is referring to this approach of enjoying as you according to your desire, and then performing various like what is sometimes called prayaschit, like some penance for that, there's so many, things you can do, rituals and mantras and sacrifices to exonerate you from whatever sin may be due to you, So Parikshit Maharaj, he at one point in Srimad Bhagavatam, he asks this question to Shukadev, like, what is the point of people doing this? What is the point? They're doing things to excuse themselves, to become free from the reactions of their actions, but they haven't removed the seed. They haven't, it's like you're weeding, but you're not pulling it up from the root. So again, it's going to come up. So this is the specialty of Srimad Bhagavatam. Dharma projita kaita vocha. Dharma projita kaita vocha. Paramo nirmat saranam satam. Then, what is it? Do you remember? The unmulanam, that line. Dharma projita kaita vocha. Paramo nirmat saranam satam. Vedyam vastavam. Acha vastu shivadam. Top chayon mulanam. This is it. Tapachai. Tapachai is referring to the threefold miseries of human existence, or just worldly existence. Unmulanam. The message that is given by this Bhagavatam, it is pulling it up from the root. It is not giving any band-aid solution, to become free from suffering. It is getting right to the very root of it. And what is that? That is your desire. You can do many things to become free from suffering or from sin that is due to you, but you cannot remove the root cause of that suffering, which is your worldly desire. We can spend our whole lives, trying to become more comfortable, trying to become free from disturbance in different ways, but unless we can remove the root cause of these disturbances, which is our own selfish desire, then it will keep coming again and again and again. So this is what Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the gift of Srimad Bhagavatam. It is aligning us with our true position within the absolute whole. It is properly adjusting us, adjusting us in that position in which we are connected with the highest truth, the fundamental truth and reality, the beautiful. It is an immovable, infallible position. To be properly situated within the absolute whole. The absolute truth, to be situated in one's true position within the absolute whole. So this example is sometimes given of an elephant. It bathes and then immediately goes and rolls in the mud. As an elephant smears its body with dirt again after you bathe it, so desire for worldly action is not dispelled by performing worldly actions. Only through pure devotion are all of the soul's difficulties dispelled. It is then that the altar of the soul's pure heart becomes a suitable place for the Lord to rest. This is why a devotee poet has sung, Bhakter Hridoye Sada Govinder Vishram. The devotee of the heart is always a resting place for Govinda. Monistic yoga and endeavors for speculative knowledge are just like sand. Through them, what to speak of the Lord's service or satisfaction? An endeavor is made to lacerate the Lord's body with a spear. This is, we were hearing from Param Gumars the other day, the Mayavadis, they're also chanting Hare Krishna, but their chanting is like thunderbolts to the body of Krishna, because they don't accept the body of Krishna. So the endeavors of monism, they are like lacerating the Lord's body with a spear. Although at the beginning of the search for non-differentiated Brahma, seekers of liberation may accept the Lord's name, form, and so on to a certain extent, such seekers do not accept the independent existence of the Lord's name, form, and so on at the time of their liberation or identification with Brahma. Because these persons, they accept like a temporary, and this is what can be quite dangerous about them, is is they'll do all the same things that we do. They'll worship the deity, they'll do kirtan, but they see it as like a temporary, means to an end. They see it as a lower conception than merging with Brahman. Brahman is the highest. In any form of differentiation, it is illusory. Any appearance of differentiation, it is illusion. The Lord, therefore, does not appear within the hearts of such unfortunate souls who proudly consider themselves to be liberated, when in fact they are not. It is for this reason that Sri Gaura Sundar did not keep straw, dust, sand, and other forms of litter, even within the boundary of the Lord's temple compounds, but rather threw them outside, using his own outer cloth, lest with the help of a storm all such rubbish would again enter the temple. Often, even when worldly action, speculative knowledge, and so on have been dispelled, subtle forms of contamination remain within the heart. These can be compared to kutinati, pratistasha. So there are these four principal anarthas, the tendencies for anya bilash, karma, gyan, yoga. Well, yoga can be included with gyan, as you could say 3. But then there's all these sub-anarthas. Kutinati, pratistasha, jiva himsa, nishidachar, lab, puja, and so on. Kutinati means duplicity. Pratistasha means desire for worldly honor. May the ignorant call me a great soul on account of my solitary worship and imposture. I don't know what imposture means there. Pratistasha means desire to be recognized as a devotee or avatar, even better. By showing a perverted reflection of divine emotion, such as artificial symptoms of ecstasy within one's heart, in order to fulfill one's selfish desires for worldly enjoyment. Jiva himsa means hesitation to, or miserliness about, preaching pure devotion, indulging mayavadis, materialists, and enjoyers, and speaking so as to keep the attention of such persons. Lab and puja means living off the Lord's names, mantras, deities, or the Bhagavat in the name of religion, cheating the ignorant. Kutinati, kutinati means duplicity.
Only one.
Yeah, then he explained pratistasha. Then he explained jiva himsa. And then lab and puja. There's going through the list. Lab and puja means living off the Lord's names, mantras, deities, or the Bhagavat in the name of religion. And this is something no doubt we see some expressions of that in the West, but in India it's something quite prevalent, persons who, they literally make a living of walking through trains chanting the Maha Mantra, and you pay them some money, or they'll have more sophisticated, settings where they'll have, a singer, and people will pay some money. And
also, some little Jagannath deities in a suitcase that they set up next to a cook.
Yeah, they've had some exposure to these things. Jagannath deities in a suitcase. They have your own pop-up deity set altar. Then you have to give some money. Yeah. Some of the places you go, they won't give you prasad unless you give your 10 rupees.
Most of the places do.
Yeah, but most of the places they keep some facade of dignity about it. So they're not so explicit. It's kind of expected, but they don't spell it out. And they might, let some people go, for free sometimes. But there was one person in particular who just like refused to unless you gave some money. Yeah, there's a lot of that.
I had non-verbal arguments with 3 different temples.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wouldn't pay them for prashad. So I gave a donation to the temple anyway.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
And then I asked for some prashad, and I was like 10 rupees, and I was like, prashad, 10 rupees, prashad, 10 rupees, no.
Yeah, it's
prashad,
terrible.
10 rupees,
Then
no.
it's turning into a business.
Bhagavad prashad.
The thing is, you don't want to argue with them as well.
No, I didn't. It was like a 5-second thing, but I wasn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't like say that.
So living off the Lord's names, mantras, deities, or the Bhagavat in the name of religion, cheating the ignorant, and accumulating wealth, honor, and so on. Nishiddhachar means associating with the opposite sex and non-devotees of Krishna, such as materialists, speculators, and enjoyers. Sri Gaura Sundar first swept out large heaps of all such sand, straw, dust, and so on that had accumulated over many days, and then, after cleaning every area within the temple a second time with brooms and water, began scrubbing the temple and the Lord's altar with the dry cloth he was wearing, so that no subtle blemishes would remain anywhere. So 3 times, 3 layers, 3 levels of cleaning, so that no subtle blemishes would remain anywhere. After all of the sweeping, cleansing, scrubbing, and so on, there was no trace of any dust particles or even subtle blemishes within the temple, which was not only spotlessly clean but also soothingly cool. That is, the practitioner's heart had become free from the bearing pain or burning, there's a few typos here, from the maybe burning pain comparable to being a desert scorched by the sun, free from the flames of the fire of the 3 miseries produced by desire to enjoy the mundane, adhyatmic tap. Miseries caused by the body and mind, adibhotik tap, miseries caused by others, and adidaivik tap, miseries caused by the gods. And this word tap, as I understand, it literally means something like burning. So, material misery, it is suffering. It's often compared to burning, as also in the Shikshashtakam, Mahabhavadavagni. The suffering of this material world is compared to a raging forest fire. In fact, when desires for enjoyment and liberation, all extraneous desires, worldly endeavors, speculative knowledge, yoga, and so on, are dispelled from the practitioner's heart, and the soul's propensity for pure devotion manifests, such peace and soothing coolness appear naturally. Ignorant souls do not understand that often, even when all selfish desires have been dispelled, a subtle blemish still remains within an unknown nook or corner of the heart. The desire for liberation. What to speak of the impersonalist desire for Sayuja Mukti, the liberation of merging into Brahma. Srimad Mahaprabhu scrubbed away with his own cloth even the subtle blemishes of desire for the 4 other forms of liberation. So not only is impersonal liberation being rejected, but also positive liberation. Salokya, residing in the Lord's abode. Samipya, being in the Lord's presence. Sarupya, having a form like the Lord's. And Sharshti, having opulence like the Lord's. Did Kadir Griffin remember what is the only goal of life that Mahaprabhu has accepted? Yes. Prema Bhakti. Pure love. Pure love. This is the only goal. To be in such a purified state of consciousness.
So were you referring, or was what was written, referring to the positive liberation, to the Sarasti, and that is the positive liberation?
Yes.
When we are not, I mean, that's not in our life to aspire for that, but okay.
Yes.
Is that especially not in our line, because, it's very subtle and very fine, very beautiful as how it has been taught in Sriyukta Saraswati by our gurus? Or is it like, because in Krishna consciousness there is this group of people who aspire for positive liberation?
I mean, well, first of all, when we say our line, we will think in terms of, the line of Sriyukta and, or more specifically, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And then, of course, we are also an exclusive group, the followers of Srila Sridhar Maharaj and Srila Govinda Maharaj. But our conception, it is not just Chaitanya Saraswati Maharaj.
Yeah.
It is, we can say Gora, so we are Gora Saraswatas. It's one way we could say, followers of, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I mean, normally these goals, they're associated with Vaikuntha conception, Narayan conception. However, I think we can also take it in a broader sense, just the aspiration for a particular how can we say, expecting some particular results, other than pure devotion, because we all have these desires to some extent or another, and in our current at our current stage of realization, it's not such a bad thing. If anything, it's something that can encourage us, and Gurudev would also preach like that sometimes. Why do you want to stay in this world of suffering? You want to go home, back to Godhead. Last night we were going through this, one of Gurudev's, that verse in Brahma Samhita he liked to quote so much, describing the beauty of Vrindavan Dham. Shriya Kanta Kanta Paramapurusha Kalpatarava Juma Bhumishchintamani Ganamayi Toyam Amritam Kataganam Natyam Gamanam Apivam Si Priya Saki. This verse that, where every step is a dance, every word is a song, all the water is nectar, all the trees are wish-fulfilling trees, and sometimes he would quote the verse, trying to give some inspiration, like, why are you so attached to this world of birth, death, old age, and disease? There's this wonderful world waiting for us. So he would, at our level, that's actually, it's a step up. But at the same time, we don't hold that mentality as the ideal. So, as we progress in this line of devotion, then we will need to become free from all of these little, smidgens. And as for, Vaikuntha, as opposed to Goloka worship, no, we are not the only Vaishnava group that holds that as supreme. There's also the line of Nimbarka Acharya. They also worship Radha Krishna as supreme. But there are some differences in their conception. Does that address what you... Okay, there's just a paragraph or two more. In this way, adopting the mentality of a soul... Oh, there's a lot of typos here. Adopting the mentality... Adopting the mentality of a soul for the welfare of all souls, Sri Gaura Sundar, as a Jagat Guru, personally taught how a practitioner should, with great enthusiasm, while loudly chanting Krishna's name, clean their heart for Krishna's sake, in order to make their heart a place for the pleasure pastimes of the autocrat Sri Krishna, and be able to lovingly gratify Krishna's senses. Yadyap yanya bhakti kalo kartavya tada kirtanakya bhakti samyoganaiva. This is from the commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam verse. Although the other 8 practices of devotion should be performed during Kali Yuga, they should be performed in conjunction with kirtan. So this is quite a helpful comment. Kirtan is the primary, nastyeva gatir anyata, right? Hadir nama, hadir nama, hadir nama, hadir nama eva kevalam, kalo nastyeva gatir anyata. This famous verse from the Puranas. There's no other way, there's no other way, there's no other way other than the holy name, the holy name, the holy name in the age of Kali. But that, so someone could be quite fanatic about that and discard with all other forms of devotion. But this is clarifying, no, the others should also be performed, but with kirtan. Of course, only through kirtan one could also get everything, it's true. But all of these other practices, they are supporting that central practice of kirtan. So like we are doing the arti, we are doing puja, archan, but we're doing it with kirtan. And we hear that kirtan is the principal element of the worship. So kirtan must be there. Sriman Mahaprabhu came over to every devotee, took hold of their hands, and taught them how to clean the temple. He praised the devotees who were serving well, and as the Lord adorned with the heart of she who is the personification of the fulfillment of Krishna's desires, Sri Radha, he benevolently chastised those whose service was not up to his standard. Very beautiful. Benevolently chastised those whose service was not up to his standard. Took hold of their hands and taught them the proper way to serve Krishna. So beautiful. He praised the devotees who were serving well. And as the Lord adorned with the heart of she who is the personification of the fulfillment of Krishna's desires, Sri Radha, he benevolently chastised those whose service was not up to his standard, took hold of their hands and taught them the proper way to serve Krishna. Not only that, he also instructed and inspired the pure-hearted devotees who were dedicated to the Absolute and proficient in serving according to his teachings to perform the work of an acharya for souls averse to the Lord. Tumi balo kodiyacho shukaho anyere, e mata balo karma seho jeno kore. To the devotees whose cleaning he approved of, the Lord said, "You have done well. Teach this to others so that they also perform well in this way." Furthermore, the Lord taught that one will become dear to the Lord to the extent that one can remove impurities from one's heart and keep it clean. And he prescribes the peaceful practice of service to Hari Guru Vaishnav for those who have not yet completed the process of anartha-nivritti, the purging of evils. So this was in his instruction for them to give some sweets to the devotees for those devotees who didn't do very well in their cleaning, that was their punishment, to give sweet rice and pita panna, these special cakes, to the other Vaishnavas. So Vaishnava Seva, to assist in their purification. Very nice, very nice. Very, very clear and very nice. Jai Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Gundicha Marjan Leela ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Shri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Bhakti Lakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Gaur Premanande. Whose turn is it to sing? Page 60.
Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraye Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Giri Hari Gopinath Madana Mohana.
Giri Hari Gopinatha Madana Mohana.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Shri Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai, Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Ju ki Jai, Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.